Alright guys, HyDra here, and I hope you're doing well and enjoying your day so far. After Cloud9 remarkably beat Gentlemates last night, the Major 1 champions, big responses from Simp among others to exactly how that all transpired. Simp not the biggest fan, it's got to be said, of the playstyle that Cloud9 were bringing to the table. He thinks they're not going to make Major 2 in Birmingham regardless, calling out some other factors as well. Scrap response to some snaking drama from Simp in the same series. Plenty to dive into. Run on Twitter your thoughts in the comments. Hit the like button if you enjoy. Subscribe if you new as always. Lots happened yesterday, of course. We had some interesting results such as Boston getting beaten 5 by the Ravens. There was talk about Snoopy and his recent performance. Of course, Don's given his take on that. So look, we'll see if Boston decide to make another move in the near future. The other question, of course, did turn to FaZe, because losing to Falcon, certainly in the manner that they did, you know, we talked about this on the pre-show yesterday with Trey, Falcon Search and Destroy is not good. It's not been good, and it wasn't good yesterday. But losing the search to FaZe, and look, if it had gone 5, then I would have taken FaZe to win. But Falcons won all the respawns, and that was the surprising, pretty shocking thing in some respects, that Falcons had no issues getting one over on FaZe in a domain where you would expect them to at least be very respectable. Yes, it's online cards, but 04, Drazah, even and Simp didn't have good series yesterday. 04 says gotta find it. So it is an interesting time for FaZe because, look, I don't want to say Neptune broke them, but like, they could have signed him probably. He 1v3s them, 1v2s them back-to-back at the Major to knock them out of the tournament. That remarkable comeback. Since then, in the online domain, FaZe haven't really been all that good. Like, if we look at the CDL standings for Major 2 so far, FaZe are 2-3 this stage. They're 9-9 map counts. Their recent matches are as follows. Falcons, they lost. G2, they lost. They beat Surge and Koi, so like, congrats. And they got 3rd, of course, in that Miami series. So they've now lost 4 of their last 6 series. And yeah, 2 of those were hot 3-0s, but it's not been pretty, their run lately. Their Major 1 qualifiers look like this. It was, you know, much more expected, maybe more respectable. This stage has not been the same story. So lots to say with FaZe, especially with 04 saying, oh, well, gotta find it implies that he's a little bit down on confidence in his own gameplay right now. So we'll see how that goes. But of course, the big series, at least in terms of remarkable results, was Cloud9 versus the Gentlemates, and somehow they win it in 5. It was hilarious going into this series and after it with regard to Simp. So he did a tweet yesterday, he's activated his social media again, he's officially back. Attach says, nice picks, brother, but can you get a kill for my fantasy team? And Simp says, I played to see victory at the end of the game, not, you know, the fake numbers on the screen or whatever. Remember what we have to do today, he says. So, and look, then he tweeted this out. Is it game day? Doesn't feel like it. Because, of course, they were playing Cloud9, in theory, the weakest team in the league by a long margin, and it was not a match that was expected to be competitive by anyone. Now, there was a bit of drama here, especially because the Black Hearts, Gentlemates, started out with a lead. They went on to lose this map, of course, and Simp didn't get a kill popping these snakes. But again, we get into a bit of a grey area scenario here, because what he's doing, that is a pump. That's clearly a pump, because he's not just crouched and gone down, he's gone all the way down and he's coming up again. But he doesn't hit the next pump immediately. There's like a little pause. So Zoom was talking about it. Look, if you spat, this is like why it's so cheese, right? This whole, oh, you can only one pump or whatever. Because for all intents and purposes, in my opinion, this is a snake, right? I mean, look at him go. He's crouching, going slightly pro, then he's sprinting forwards again. He's basically, at least in this first part of the clip, snaking the head glitch here against Cloud9, which of course makes it even funnier. This first few seconds, it's difficult to argue, I think, that he's not snaking. But of course, technically by the rules, because he's not spamming it, and I don't know, like he's hesitating marginally between each pump, and therefore apparently that makes it okay. I guess there's a logic there, because one of the issues with snaking is that it breaks the cameras. So when you are snaking, your POV looks different to what they see. So if you hesitate, it allows the cameras to, you know, let's say reconnect with reality, so the other guy actually can see you as you are. So there is probably a little bit to that. But equally, it's like, if we're getting to this point of, oh no, well, I hesitated 0.3 seconds between each pump and therefore it's fine. It's like, well, you know, come on, right? Probably GAs are gonna become more of an issue. It's not a big deal for now, but like as the season goes on, we're gonna start to see more of this. So one to keep your eyes on. But of course, lots of reaction to the fact that Cloud9 beat them. And Clay says, yep, COD is insane. You know, the Stallions, they had 3 Stallions on the Cloud9 roster, 0 on the Gentlemates. So, you know, maybe it was an inevitable outcome. Vios from Gentlemates is something pretty interesting. Came out super flat, didn't play like ourselves. Definitely true, right? Like, if they played anywhere near their best COD and didn't make so many outrageous mistakes, Gentlemates would still have won the series. Cloud9 deserve, though, so much credit. The Blackheart was interesting because it's a map that they don't play, Gentlemates, but they decided against Cloud9, let's play it in this series. We'll get a practice rep in, right? And, well, they lost it. And Vio says, we tried Blackheart and it ain't being played again, which is pretty interesting because I think Sib said on stream, I'll share a couple of clips in a second, that, yeah, we tried Blackheart and we're keeping, you know, trying to improve on that map and all this. But their own coach is telling you that they are going to auto-veto it every series they play. So, I don't know whether they'll change their mind on that, but I thought it was interesting because obviously losing it, you would expect them to say, okay, we're not touching that again. But still, right, it's kind of interesting that their coach, I thought, came out and just said, yeah, we ain't playing that one again. And they didn't play at a major one and they won the tournament, so it is what it is. Patty P gave his thoughts on Plummet Era here. And I don't know what you think about this, because there's 2 angles to this. Because simultaneously, one angle is, well, hang on a second, a team that would be top 24 in challenges, theoretically, has just beaten a pro team. Like, not just a pro team, but the defending champions of the first tournament. Yeah, it's online COD, so it is what it is. But is it Plummet Era because the pros at the pro level are plumbers, they're not able to even beat terrible teams, or players, theoretically? But is it not also a counter-argument to say, well, hang on, there are teams and players down there who are top 24 in challenges who have been able to get these type of results? So is it a Plummet Era or is it not a Plummet Era? I don't know. I think these same results, as Ben points out in the replies, have happened for a long time. I don't know if things are massively dissimilar in some way. Encouraged does a tweet. Okis did a tweet as well, and of course the entire team. Once we clean up our respawns, we're going to be insane. So look, strong words from Cloud9. I'm hoping that they can do some damage. As much as I want to see the organization fail for their decision here, it is an interesting storyline that they've generated. And Hyde says, playing with the worst ping in CDL history. We love Cali's Spectrum cables. There was a lot of talk about ping in that series. Again, why the online cheese matters. Not gonna lie, I think he's tweeting out these numbers as if it's meant to be bad. And compared to some internet connections, it is. But I'm sure many of you guys from the UK are looking at this thinking, what are we complaining about? But like, it's what the problem, I guess, here is some of the discrepancy. I mean, you see this on cable, but between the download and the upload, and then which isn't as strong as it probably should be, and then also this like latency when the connection is busy, that the latency is pretty high compared to the ping. So yeah, it's not 1K, 1K, 111, right? But, it's just, you know, I don't know. Didn't seem too bad to me. But whatever. It's more to do with the ping on the actual players that you're playing against in these matches. And, well, we, as a result, got some response from the players. Notably, Sip. So he turns to the streamer last night. He explains why he deleted the tweet, because he felt like it was a bit unfair. But he still stands on business with regard to what he actually said in the tweet. He then says Cloud9, well, they're terrible anyway. They're not going to qualify for Major 2 regardless, so who really cares? That's point 2. Point 3 was that we were also on bad ping because of where those guys are located, so that wasn't ideal and created a strange environment, but also then calls out their individual playstyle and says, look, these guys are playing, well, not the best quality Call of Duty. We were giving them way too much credit, as in, I think he means like we're giving them too much respect, really, but we also played terribly. So there you go.
Deleted it? Yeah, no, I deleted it like shortly after, just because like, damn, that's so lucky, like, I don't want to be a hoe. And I tweeted that like at fucking early in the day. So I mean, it don't feel like a match. What? I still stand on that shit. I don't give a fuck if I deleted it or not. Nigga, it don't feel like a match. I don't even know who I'm playing. Yeah, it don't feel like a match. Bro, they make Major 2. Imagine like, yo, we beat the champs. Like, we can't make dude, no way, dude. Like, we beat the champs and not making Major 2. What the fuck? What the fuck, dude? How the fuck you beat the Major 1 champs and then don't make Major 2? Make that make sense. That's their friend. Yeah, brother, you guys are awful. They're playing for checkouts. They're playing for straight checkouts, yeah. Yo, and this online, that server, bro, that shit's insane. I'm on 50 ping. I don't even say downplay. I mean, bro, that's literally awful. I should be able to fucking spawn in with my eyes closed and still fucking shit on them. Like black hearts are auto veto, so like we're working on our black heart, which you still should have won. Wait, why do they hate me? We should have won black heart. The map too. I mean, we're just trying shit, so like fuck it, whatever. Their maps with me, whatever. Like it's one of the things where they play weird. Yeah, it's definitely they play weird. They play weird as fuck, to be honest. It's actually you don't like the way they play. They're literally retarded. Like we're just giving them way too much credit than what like what they deserve. So like just a bit weird, but we also definitely made some mistakes too, for sure. I think we played like shit too. But we're also trying new things. But
he's open, on close. It looks close. Hard.
I'm seeing front.
I'm seeing close. You close, focus really weak. Too close. They're gonna hit me. They're gonna hit me. I dropped in. Watch everyone. Close, focus. He's open, on close. It looks close. Hard.
I'm seeing front.
I'm seeing close. You close, focus really weak. Too close. They're gonna hit me. I dropped in. Watch everyone.
That's pretty dirty. I will say that is pretty dirty, Dante. That's pretty dirty. That's a pretty dirty.
So Simp is not expecting that result to replicate itself when it comes to a LAN environment. I would not be surprised if he is right, and also because Cloud9 probably won't be there at the LAN still. But they've got a big win on the board, right? Look, it's very possible that Cloud9 get this win and they still don't, get another win and they bomb out eventually, right? But they've made some progress, clearly. They played some good stuff yesterday, and they're now 1-3, and we can have a look at the standings again real quick. If we go back to here we go. So Cloud9 are 1-3. They're ahead of Boston, right? So that's one thing, but they're going to need to get ahead of another team. They're going to need to hope Boston continue being terrible, and Cloud9 need to try and get ahead of another team somewhere. Maybe a Surge would be the most likely, I guess, unless, Toronto probably should be better enough now to make a run. So, yeah, Cloud9 need to hope that Boston continue having a rough time and then try to beat Surge, probably. That would be the ideal. So, yeah, Cloud9's run. I mean, if you look at who they've played, it's actually not that bad. Like, they lost to G2. That was their first series. Okay, they lost to Falcons. But they've already played OpTic and Gentlemates now. So their next series are Heretics, Surge, Boston, Toronto. So like they need to get another big result or multiple results in the next couple of weekends. And then, Thieves, Ravens, FaZe. Arguably some of their harder games are out the window right now. So it's exciting on that level for sure. OpTic, though, play Thieves tonight. These are the number 1, number 2 seeds right now. Gentlemates would have joined them up there if they'd have gone 4-0, but of course they didn't. So these are the 4 games. Falcons are in action again. They play G2. Big game, that one. G2, you never know what to expect. But I would expect a game 5, and, if it goes 5, I think G2 are the favourites in 5 in that scenario. It's tough to call that series. I think Falcons 3-1, G2 3-2, both reasonable predictions. Koi Heretics is always a nice one. We know there's been lots of drama there. No more ReeaL, so that takes away a little bit of the intrigue in the series, but still it's going to be kind of spicy, and it is a big one for, especially I think, Toronto, to try and get some sort of positivity on the boards, because if they lose to Heretics again like they did at the Major, that's going to be rough. Surge Ravens, I don't massively care. That the reason I am interested is because, as I say, Cloud9, their most likely path to at least get to go to Birmingham and being the 10th seed is that they overtake Surge. So on that sense, if Ravens were to win, that's good for Cloud9, you would think anyway. Unless Ravens all of a sudden start to have a stinker, but it doesn't look so likely on that one. And then OpTic versus Thieves to close out the day. So very much enjoyed your thoughts in the comments. Hit the like button if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you're new. Take care. And I'll see you next time.